So everybody loves a generator call. So let's go take a look over here at this generator, see what it's doing. We've got one here that didn't want to start the other day. The lady's grandson came out and checked it, added some oil to it, said all the things were flashing, which it's hard to say exactly what it was that's flashing. Got a remote control verifier there that's got no radio signal, and as you can see there, the air filter luckily has a metal mesh behind it because the mice came in and got in there, dug a little bit of that filter out. Look at the oil there. Oil seems to be perfectly on the money, so they got that set right up. So let's see if our linkage here is okay. That's smashed down all the way. Like I said, I usually lift that up just a little bit so it doesn't actually touch the plastic. You don't want to do it much because you want it to do its choke mechanism there, but you just want to keep a little bit of a gap to help keep it from freezing into place, because when it gets down to the zeros, it tends to want to stick. And I ain't saying they're all like that, but it was something the factory told me years back, and just always do it. Let's go ahead and see what this thing does in manual mode. We checked and verified that we have utility voltage in here, corrected the clock, got that set right, changed her exercise time to in the evening when she's home to actually notice that it's running. This does have lights out here on the side, so I'm gonna have to let her know about those. We should have the servo here go back and forth. We should see the choke open and close, and hopefully it starts. Let's see what happens. I like playing games with it by, messing with the air intake there to see if it counters it, that it's paying attention to the frequency that it's trying to maintain, which should be holding right at 60, I believe, at this model. This is a Honeywell / might as well call it a Generac, because Honeywell don't really make it. What I also want to do, because I say it all the time, the #1 killer of a generator is the battery. It's a maintenance free, which means you can't maintain it. Let's see if we can get this thing out of here without shorting it out. This was a really crap design they came out with. As you can see, it doesn't fit in there right. So you got to kind of lift it up, twist it sideways, talk to it dirty, and see if you can get it out of there. You got to be careful when you're leaning it back that you don't short it out into the freaking regulator back here. We got it out. You can see we're starting to swell out here on the side. Unfortunately, the guys didn't pop out the date here, so no real good way other than to look for letters and stuff like that on the edges of the battery to see if we can get a date out of this thing. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing those right now. There's F2, I don't mean squat. We can do a load test on it. We can do a hardcore test, which they don't recommend, or we can do my electronic one, which I'll probably do here in a second. We can see here that the voltage is definitely up there. This is a crappy little tester. About the only thing it's good for is the 100 amp draw load it puts on it. You can see that it's definitely above 12.5 volts area, so it's definitely charging. We're gonna put the load on it, we're gonna watch and see if that needle goes down slow or does it drop really fast. And does it get down below 11.2 area, which sometimes you're better off to use your digital meter than this meter here, but let's try that. It's going down really slow, had a little bit of a drop there for a minute. Seems to be holding pretty good, but just had a drop. Okay, and you don't want to do that more than 10 seconds. It held pretty good, and you can see that it's slowly coming back up. Generally, if the battery's weak, it's going to dive all the way down and then rocket right back up because the charger's holding it in there. So the battery's probably not too bad. It doesn't tell you a true state, which is why you want to use your electronic. Nice thing about that is we didn't have to unhook it from the charger to do it. Now the electronic one, I always isolate the battery from it. Now we did just put a little bit of a load on it, so it's whether or not that skews the numbers, we'll see here in a minute. I think what we're going to find out is it was probably low on oil. I went through the history, and it said under voltage. Well, we were down to anywhere from 0 to 5 degrees out. This does not have a cold weather start kit on it, which the start kits usually have a battery warmer plate that goes underneath the battery, that square spot, and then a oil warmer here that goes around the oil filter. And that helps keep the oil nice and warm, at least in the oil filter section. So once it starts to crank, it pulls that hot oil into the engine, which then will mix around and then get it cranking over a little easier, because wintertime obviously it has a hard time starting. By being warm like that, it keeps the battery from going dead real quick, because you know how things go dead in the winter. When the battery's cold, it just goes right down. We went through the history like I was saying. If you go into history, go into alarm log, you got 1,010,000 inspect batteries and air filters and all that crap, because nobody's been doing the service. But you can see on the 17th it had an under voltage at 2 o'clock area, and that makes me think, and since it's at 25 seconds, it makes me think that that was probably when it was exercising. Like I said, I changed the exercise time and date, so I don't know what it is now, but that was the only real thing I've seen in there that was of an actual failure. Otherwise, it seems to be doing pretty good. Go into run log, and it looks like it's been running pretty decent. Manual, which I just did, exercise, auto, utility loss. See, that was on the 3rd. It started and ran then. Lost at 13:29 and stopped 13:29. So only ran for what, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. So that was kind of somebody either testing it or something. A lot of exercises and stuff like that. There was a utility loss there on the 21st of last year, January. Looks like it's been doing fairly decent. We've already went through the edit menu. This is one of the older controllers, which was pretty easy to navigate, didn't need no special codes, any of that stuff, which made it kind of nice. Now this radio signal thing here, there used to be a button to push, I think, on this one to lock in. I tried telling it to change channel, that didn't work. It was nice, one of the nicer ones, because you can test with it, but I really don't know. These have been so problematic. So we're gonna see if we can get that reset there. Like I said, there used to be a push button on the back side of this black transmitter. The newer ones have it built in there. But you can see this one has a little box right there. You know, it's been about 7 years or better since I've done a crap load of these. So you tend to forget. So if you're not going to do these every day, don't waste your money or time trying to do warranty and all that stuff. It's a waste, especially with the way they got their school now being done every year. And you're going to spend, I think, $800 to go to their class, which they're